You know what's wild? Right now, somewhere in your house, there's a treadmill being used as a clothes hanger, a kitchen gadget still in its box, a gym membership card collecting dust in your wallet. And if you're a woman watching this, you already know exactly what I'm talking about. That yoga mat you swore would change your life? Yeah, that one. But here's the thing nobody wants to admit. This isn't about being irresponsible or wasteful. There's actual psychology behind why we buy things we never use. And once you understand it, everything makes sense. Let me paint you a picture. Sarah walks into Target for toilet paper. Just toilet paper. 30 minutes later, she's walking out with a bread maker, 3 different organizing bins, a succulent she'll definitely remember to water, and yes, the toilet paper. Cost? $200. Times that bread maker gets used? 0. But in that moment, standing in that aisle, her brain was absolutely convinced this was the purchase that would transform her into a person who bakes fresh artisan bread every Sunday morning. This is what psychologists call aspirational buying, and women are particularly vulnerable to it. Not because women are somehow more irrational, stick with me here, but because of how we're socialized to think about self-improvement. And if you're already nodding along, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button because we're about to go deep into the science of why your closet is full of tags still on regret.
Here's what's really happening in your brain when you're standing in that store. You're not buying the product, you're buying a version of yourself. That expensive blender isn't a blender. It's your fantasy of being the kind of person who makes fresh green smoothies every morning. Those running shoes aren't shoes. They're your vision of becoming someone who runs 5Ks before breakfast. That professional camera isn't about photography. It is about becoming creative, artistic, the kind of person who captures moments instead of scrolling past them. Research from the Journal of Consumer Psychology found that women are 65% more likely than men to purchase items based on who they want to become rather than who they currently are. We're not shopping for our present selves. We're shopping for our future selves. And our future selves are amazing, productive, organized, and have their lives completely together. The problem? Future you never shows up. Think about it. You buy the gym clothes because you genuinely believe this is the week you start working out. You buy the journal because you're finally going to start that daily gratitude practice. You buy the expensive cookware because you're done with takeout and becoming a proper adult who meal preps. In that moment, the purchase feels like a commitment. It feels like the first step toward change. But what actually happens? The gym clothes sit in your drawer, making you feel guilty every time you see them. The journal has maybe 3 entries, all from the first day. The cookware becomes a beautiful, unused monument to good intentions. And here's where it gets really interesting. Marketers know this. They know exactly how to sell to aspirational buyers. Have you noticed how workout clothes are never modeled by people actually sweating? They're modeled by people casually perfect, sipping coffee, looking like fitness is just their effortless lifestyle. That's intentional. They're not selling you clothes. They're selling you an identity. The same thing happens with kitchen gadgets. They show you the happy family gathered around homemade pasta, the Instagram-worthy presentation, the satisfaction of creating something from scratch. They're selling you the fantasy of being a certain type of person. And women, statistically, are more drawn to identity-based marketing than feature-based marketing. There's also a thing called the optimism bias. Basically, your brain is hardwired to be unrealistically positive about the future. When you're buying that bread maker, your brain genuinely believes you'll use it 3 times a week. It doesn't matter that you haven't baked bread once in your entire adult life. Right now, in this moment, future you is definitely a bread baker. Studies show women experience optimism bias more intensely when it comes to self-improvement purchases. We genuinely believe this will be different. This time we'll stick with it. This purchase is the catalyst for change. If this is hitting a little too close to home, go ahead and subscribe because we're about to talk about the emotional trigger makes this 10 times worse.
Let's talk about emotional shopping. Bad day at work? Buy something. Argument with your partner? Online shopping cart. Feeling stuck in life? Nothing a new wardrobe can't fix, right? Women are twice as likely as men to engage in emotional purchasing, and here's why that matters for the unused stuff in your house. When you're buying something to feel better, you're not actually thinking about using it. You're thinking about the moment of purchase, the little dopamine hit when you click Buy Now, the excitement of a package arriving, the brief fantasy of who this item will help you become. The actual use of the item? That is a problem for future you. And right now, future you feels very far away. I talked to a friend last week who has 7 different planners. 7! Each one was purchased during a moment when she felt overwhelmed and convinced that the right organizational system would fix everything. Each one has maybe 2 weeks of entries, because the planner wasn't really about planning. It was about the feeling of taking control in a moment of chaos. And then there's social media making everything worse. You see someone's perfectly organized pantry, and suddenly you need 17 matching containers. You see a friend's home gym setup, and you're convinced a Peloton will change your life. You see influencers with their morning routines, and you start buying jade rollers and fancy coffee makers and the specific type of oatmeal they recommend. The thing is, you're comparing your behind the scenes to everyone else's highlight reel. They're not showing you the treadmill they used twice. They're showing you the one perfect workout they filmed for content. They're not showing you the bread maker in their garage. They're showing you the one loaf they successfully made. Here's something that might surprise you. The average woman has approximately $400 worth of unused items in her home at any given time. $400 of things bought with genuine intentions that never got used. And that's just the average. Some studies put it much higher for certain age groups and income levels. But here's what's really fascinating. It's not about the money for most women. Yes, that's part of it, but the real pain comes from what those unused items represent. Every time you see that unused treadmill, it's not just a treadmill. It's a reminder that you haven't become the person you thought you'd be. It's evidence of broken promises to yourself. That unused bread maker isn't about bread. It's about the gap between who you are and who you want to be. This is why getting rid of these items is so hard. You're not just getting rid of stuff. You're admitting defeat. You're acknowledging that you're not going to become that person who bakes bread or runs marathons or journals daily. And that hurts. Psychologists call this the sunk cost fallacy. You've already invested money and emotional energy into this item, so getting rid of it feels like wasting both. Your brain says, maybe I'll still use it someday. Spoiler alert, you won't. But your brain really wants to believe you will. There's also things that happen specifically to women around life transitions. Starting a new job, shopping spree for the professional you. New relationship, time to buy stuff for the domestic goddess you. We shop our way through identity crises, trying to buy our way into new versions of ourselves. And if you're feeling personally attacked right now, good. That means you're paying attention. Hit that subscribe button because we're about to talk about how to actually break this cycle.
So what do you do about this? Because I'm not here just to call you out. I'm here to help you understand what's happening so you can make better choices. First, the 30-day rule. Before buying anything non-essential, wait 30 days. Put it on a list. If you still want it after 30 days, and you can specifically articulate how you'll use it at least 3 times a week, then consider buying it. But here's what usually happens. By day 30, you've completely forgotten about it. That's your sign it was an aspirational purchase, not a real need. Second, take photos of your unused stuff. I'm serious. Go through your house and photograph everything you bought but never used. Put those photos in an album on your phone. The next time you're about to make an impulse purchase, scroll through those photos. Let them remind you that buying things doesn't create change. Action creates change. Third, separate your identity from your purchases. You are not your stuff. Buying workout clothes doesn't make you athletic. Buying a camera doesn't make you a photographer. Buying organizational containers doesn't make you organized. These are tools, not transformations. The transformation has to come first, then the tools support it, not the other way around. Here's a question to ask yourself before any purchase. Would I buy this if I had to use it today? Not tomorrow, not next week, not when life calms down, today. If the answer is no, you're buying an aspiration, not a tool. And look, I'm not saying don't buy things. I'm saying be honest about what you're buying and why. If you want that dress because it makes you feel amazing right now, not because you'll wear it to some future event that may never happen, that's different. That's a conscious choice. If you want that book because you enjoy owning books, not because you're definitely going to read it, own that decision. It's the lying to ourselves that creates the guilt and waste. The reality is this: you're not going to become a different person through purchasing. You're going to become a different person through action. And sometimes the most powerful action is not buying something. It's sitting with the discomfort of who you currently are and deciding that's actually enough. Those unused items in your house, they're not evidence of failure. They're evidence of hope. Hope that you can change, grow, become something more. That's actually beautiful. The problem isn't the hope, it's thinking that hope can be purchased. So here's my challenge to you. Before you buy that thing you're currently thinking about, and you know what it is, ask yourself this: am I buying a tool or buying a fantasy? Because tools serve who you are. Fantasies serve who you wish you were. And you can't live in a fantasy. Now, before you go, I need to know something. Where in the world are you watching this from? Are you scrolling through this from your bedroom in Atlanta, surrounded by unused stuff? Watching from your office in Toronto during lunch break? Go ahead, tell me, where are you, and what's the one thing sitting in your house right now that you swore you'd use, but never did? Let's create the world's longest list of aspirational regret. I'll start. Bread maker. Never used, mocking me from the cabinet. Your turn. Drop that comment, and I'll see you in the next one.